Hey, welcome to the Sports Reverends podcast. My name is Dan.
And my name's Drew.
We're no experts, but we are
the Sports Reverends.
Hey, we're excited for another Sports Reverends podcast. Drew, when are we going to get Coach in the intro? When's that going to happen? Is he still in the 6-month process here?
I don't know. I think he's almost through his probation period. So we'll see about in the next couple episodes. We need to give you a break because you're not very good at it.
That is absolutely fair. Well, let's get into some of the Sports Reverends quick hitters for today. Bundesliga restarts, and it has been successful. Although there have been a few major injuries, we're wondering, will this be the new trend for all sports going forward? The UFC has had 3 fights in these last 2 weeks, and it's all heading towards Fight Island in hopefully June. We still have Cam Newton watch and he remains unsigned after opening up about willing to be a backup. Is this the end for Cam Newton? That's a crazy question to even think about.
Absolutely.
Horace Grant calls MJ a liar and a snitch. He was not happy with that docuseries, saying he wasn't the leak at the end of the first three-peat. Dak Prescott reportedly turned down an offer of a 5-year, $175 million contract. He's seeking north of $45 million in his final year. The franchise tag will pay him $33 million this year.
Have you ever thought about how well your investments are performing? Have you wanted to understand how the stock market works and how you can look after your financial future, but have been unsure of where or even how to get started? Train to Invest is North America's leading investment education and training corporation with the sole purpose of providing a new way of thinking about wealth management. Through teaching, training, and coaching individuals in both the art and science of self-directed investing, Train to Invest offers a complete education and training experience to empower families to begin their journey of planning for future generations through investment education. To find out more, look at www.traintoinvest.com and download our free ebook. Again, www.train2invest.com to find more information about our program and download our free ebook.
So, boys, with all that being said, we're going to stick with NFL to start it off with. The big news around the league has been the Rooney Rule, and I'm just going to share a little bit about what the Rooney Rule is. So the Rooney Rule has already been in place, and now they've just adjusted it. But the Rooney Rule is a National Football League policy that requires league teams to interview ethnic minority candidates for head coaching and senior football operation jobs. And it is an example of affirmative action, even though there's no hiring quota or hiring preference given to minorities, only in interviewing quota. So on Tuesday, this is what's happened, okay? The NFL owners approved new measures, and it's aimed at improving diversity in coach and front office hiring. But they stopped short of approving a resolution that would have rewarded minority hiring with draft pick compensation. So they were thinking of if you drafted a minority or ethnic coach, either a head coach, defensive, offensive coordinator, and or even quarterback coach, they would improve your third-round draft pick from up 6 spots or potentially even up 10 spots. But the NFL and the teams have kiboshed that idea for now, but it may be coming back. So the changes that have been made, teams will now be required to interview at least 2 candidates from outside their organization for any vacant head coaching job, and at least 1 minority candidate from outside their organization for any vacant offensive, defensive, or special teams coordinator job. Previously, the Rooney Rule had required teams interview only 1 minority candidate for head coach and none for coordinator. The NFL also changed its anti-tampering policy to relax the rules that have allowed teams to deny assistant coaches and executives the opportunity to interview for jobs with other organizations. So this resolution came about on Tuesday. The Rooney Rule also has expanded to apply to a number of executive positions. Teams and the league office are now required to interview minorities and or female applicants. for positions such as team president, senior executives in communications, finance, human resources, legal, football operations, sales, marketing, sponsorship, information technology, and security positions. Each of the 32 NFL teams will establish a minority coaching fellowship program. And that fellowship program actually started with the Green Bay Packers, which was pretty cool. They started that before they even implemented this rule, and I thought that was very cool by them. So, guys, what is your thoughts on this Rooney Rule and the adjustment of it so far?
A lot of information to go through. However, I mean, let's just preface it with this. Racism is always going to exist regardless. People are going to be stereotypical. Racism is going to be around. I applaud the intention of the Rooney Rule to get more diversity into coaching. However, personally, I don't think it matters if you're Black, white, Hispanic about your ability to coach. It's just 2020. Obviously, you know, getting women into sports and whatever, that's fine. And all that is good. But the intention of just saying, hey, we need more colored people in, I think it is wrong. You want more qualified people in. Color shouldn't matter right now. In 2018, there were 8 head coaches of quote unquote color. 2019, there were 4. This past year, 2020, I guess, there's 5 head coaching positions that were open, and only 1 ethnically diverse person was hired. So you can spin that as, oh, teams are only hiring white people. Or you could say the flip side is maybe they didn't have a good interview. Maybe they found somebody who they would preferred. Part of getting a job, as you guys would know, especially being Reverends, is part of who your network is too, right? And so I think that there's a lot of different facets more than just color that come into play when it comes to the Rooney Rule. And in terms of the incentivizing the draft picks, that's a terrible idea. That's just an awful, awful idea, because then it becomes, there'll always be the debate. Was coach hired because of his color or his competency, right? And if I'm interviewing for a job, and for those of you who aren't looking, I'm definitely a brown guy. I don't want to get a job because of my color. I want to get a job because of my competency, because I don't want to have that in the back of my head saying, oh, they only hired me to fill a quota, right? So those are my brief thoughts. And just because you increase the number of interviews of colored people doesn't mean you're going to see an increase in people getting hired.
True.
That's just what I'm saying.
Sports Rev Drew, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, like I don't have much to say on this this topic, but I do agree. It's great. More doors being opened. I'm just looking at some quotes from Eric Bieniemy, the Chiefs offensive coordinator, who's saying that as a coach, you always want to be judged based upon your own merit. But he is also happy that the rule to get interviews, it gives guys opportunities that might not get that interview. But I do agree with Coach that it should be based on your merit. Like, I don't know how you guys feel about that, but like if you see a guy that is better and he gets passed over because of this rule, I don't know how that makes you guys feel. Like I wouldn't want to be the guy that gets the job because of a certain rule in place, right?
Yeah.
But I'm happy it's opening doors, but I do hope that teams continue to hire guys based on their competency and their own merit.
Yeah, I think we're all kind of on the same page as well. I love the intention behind it. I think there is probably a problem in the NFL right now. It's a 75% black league, actually over 75%, just slightly over. And as Joel read out some of the numbers from that's head coaches. If you look at coordinators and other staff, there is a lack of black people and other ethnic ethnicities in those coaching positions. So I love the intentions. I don't know if I love how they're going about it, because it's an admittance of what's wrong with the NFL right now. And I don't know if that's the best way to solve it. This rule is not going to change racism in the face of racism forever or anything like that. I do think it will give some opportunities, and at the end of the day, I agree with you, Drew, as well, that I hope it's the competency of the coach that gets the opportunity. And what I do like about this Rooney Rule is that now every team will be establishing a fellowship for minorities to have this coaching program and this actual coaching experience, so that they can create more opportunity for them to get experience and then see if they qualify for these coordinator jobs and head coaching jobs and other jobs as well, from finances to sales to all those kinds of things as well. I don't think it's ever going to change in the end of owners. I think there's one minority owner, and yeah, and I don't think that's ever going to change, and that's just the way the cookie crumbles right now. But for the rest of it, let's hope and pray that some of these things change. Any other thoughts on that, guys?
Yeah, I think the fellowship thing is actually a very underrated part that is not getting enough attention.
Yeah.
You want to change something systemic like racism in sport, you have to do it at the grassroots level, right? Yeah. I don't know the data, I don't know the stats, but you wonder how many coaches in the high school level are colored or ethnic, or you know what I mean? If you can start building that up and showing an opportunity of this is what you can do, then people start aiming higher, and they're not so worried about race, but they're worried about, hey, how qualified am I to apply for this job?
That's right.
And I think the fellowship part, especially because the NFL makes money hand over fist.
Oh yeah.
There's going to be tons of opportunity and resources to make sure that grows. And my only concern is that we hear about it 1 year, 2 years, and then it kind of just falls off.
Yeah.
If they stick with it, I think it's going to make a big change overall. And just quality overall for coaching.
I like it, boys. Some of these NFL odds have just been released for regular season wins. And we got the Ravens number 1 tied with the Chiefs, the 49ers number 3, Saints number 4, and Bucks 5, and the rest of the list goes on. Drew, what are your thoughts on the odds so far released for regular season wins for these teams? And you can look at the whole list. You can go through whatever is shocking to you.
Well, I'll take out one that I think is too high and one that I think is too low. I think the Bucks are too high, sitting there at number the 5th best odds to have the most wins this season. What were they, 8? Were they 8-8 last year, or 9-7, or
something like that? They're mediocre at best.
They're 7-9, I believe.
7-9. Wow.
Yes.
Like, I do agree their defense is getting better, but their secondary is so weak. Like, you can pass on them all day long. I don't know if Brady solves all their problems, because most of their problems are on the side of the ball that he's not playing. So I don't know if one player or 2 players, if you count Gronk, right, moves them from 7-9 to, what do you need, 13 at least, minimum, 14 maybe, to have the most wins in a season. So I think they're way too high. And then a team, I'm thinking. Drew,
can I comment on the Bucks here quickly?
Sure, go ahead.
You're missing out the best defensive player in the game that the Bucks had. It was Jameis Winston, who threw all those picks. And I think the stats on how where the Bucks started on defense and all those times, they factor in a huge into their poor defense. But I agree with you that they're not the greatest defense, but they're better than what the stats showed so far. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I think for most of the season they were number 1 ranked against the run.
That's right.
But they were just getting murdered in the air. But so I think they're too high. And then a team that I see that's too low, I wouldn't put them high up on the list, but they're 4th lowest on the list, is the Panthers. And I think that they're getting a significant upgrade at quarterback. I think Teddy Bridgewater has deserved to be a starting quarterback. He's proved it every single time he gets an opportunity to play.
Ride that school bus.
Yeah, for sure. He's
Absolutely.
anytime Teddy Bridgewater has been giving an opportunity, he's taken advantage, and he's played way better. He doesn't make mistakes. He's not going to lose a game for you. He might not have over-the-top skills, but he has accuracy. He sees the field well. And what we saw him do with the Saints last year, yeah, it's the Saints. It's one of the best rosters in the NFL. But still, for a backup quarterback to step in, some would even say third string on that team, to step in and take a team 5-0, that says something about your preparation and his mindset going into this year, knowing he's going to be the number one. I think the Panthers are going to be a good team. I know the loss of Kuechly will hurt with retirement, but
they can make some noise.
I think they'll make some noise, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Teddy's game 4 and 5 for the Saints. Game 4 and 5 that he won, he was ascending too. He wasn't just dumping in and diving there. He's throwing the ball down the field, and he's looking efficient too.
And even when he was in Minnesota, he was.
Absolutely.
Was that his rookie year that he got hurt, or was it the next year?
I think it was in the preseason of the rookie
next year.
After his first year,
Yeah. So, yeah, I agree with you. I'm a Teddy fan too.
What do you
Coach?
think,
so what are some of your thoughts here?
Okay, I guess
I'm about to come at you, so.
Okay, that's fine. I think the Patriots are too high.
Yeah.
Their defense, they got rid of some older guys, and they're cycling new guys, which is fine, which is typical Bill Belichick style. But losing Brady is going to be a big thing. You've had this one pillar for 20 years, day in, day out, performing, and nothing against Jared Stedlam, but he's no Tom Brady yet that we know of. So the offense, I think, might be more run heavy, definitely less talented. So I think that having them at plus 2,500 was surprising to me. And you're gonna like this one. I know they're in a very tough division, but I still think at plus 1,400, the Cowboys are too low. I think they're talented. I think they're a talented team. I know. Yes, the Giants got better. Philadelphia is kind of whatever. Washington, who cares? But based on how they played last year, they should have been an 11, 12-win team. You throw in some good, new coach, which should definitely help. Some, positive momentum with hopefully Dak signing something. And the defense is still solid. I don't think it got any worse.
At this point, I want Dak to just get franchise tagged because we're offering him way too much money. Yeah. But I'll digress.
You digress on that. Yeah, but I think the Cowboys can make some serious noise if the chips fall the right way. So, at, plus 1,400, do they have a better chance than the Saints? I don't think so because the Saints, are unreal. But I think plus 1,400 is a little low.
Maybe flip them in the Bucks.
Yeah, that's not a bad one. Yeah, I could do that.
Okay. Can I go at you now?
Come at me.
I'm coming at your 49ers, okay? The 49ers are –
Please, don't –
everyone has
too
them.
Low?
No, I'm saying they're too high. Everyone's thought these 49ers coming back like they're going to be juggernauts. They're going to be kings of the castle. I'm calling it right now, okay? 49ers are dropping, okay? They lost Emmanuel Sanders.
Who's old?
He's not old. He's gonna make the and Emmanuel Sanders went to the Saints of all teams. Okay,
barely. I'm second half of the season, but keep going.
And Jimmy Garoppolo, okay, most Jimmy G here, throws 8 passes in a playoff game.
He's a winner
in a league of passing.
Does it matter how you win? I don't think so.
And the trio of running backs are split up now, and they're going with just basically going to one guy. And
that run blocking scheme is all you need, Daniel.
I'm telling you, the 49ers, this is my prediction. Okay? Yep. Hot take.
Not really, but okay.
The 49ers do not make the playoffs. I said it.
Write it down.
I've been trying to debate whether I'm going to take that stance. I'm saying that the 49ers do not make the playoffs this year.
I'll
Let it
pray
be
for you.
said. Let it be
I'm gonna have
said.
to pray for you, and we'll have to talk to your head pastor because something's a little wrong there. But
And yeah, but I'm with you guys on the rest of your takes for sure.
Yeah.
Patriots. I think the Vikings are a little low too. I think the Vikings are going to have a good year. They had a good draft pick to replace Stephon Diggs. Not that you can replace Stephon Diggs with a rookie, but he's if Thielen stays healthy and this rookie this rookie that they have is considered one of the best route runners in the draft. So I think they're going to be pretty good.
Yeah. Another one I'll throw in is the Colts. I don't think the Colts are going to be that good with Phillip Rivers.
yeah,
I would almost rather them stick with Brissett.
Yeah.
Like I thought Brissett played really well, but
especially
so
under the circumstances, like bro is just like, oh, I'm starting now. Like, okay.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm also a Lions fan too. I'm a Matthew Stafford fan, sorry. And if Matthew Stafford is healthy, I could see them moving up too. I could see them contending for a playoff spot for sure.
No.
And you guys both love the Falcons, eh? You guys are sold that do the Falcons make the playoffs?
I think they're making a comeback.
I don't know if they make the playoffs though. That's a tough division.
Well, yeah, with the Bucks now, and the Saints are going to win that division, right?
With the added wild card spot, I don't know. It's tough.
I think they do better than they did last year.
Yeah,
because I don't think their defense is bad. They had a lot of injuries on defense.
Wild card spot.
But still, you got Packers, you got 49ers, you got the Seahawks, you have the Cowboys, you may have the Giants,
Vikings.
That's a lot of teams that they gotta go through.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough. Well, let's hear a word from our sponsors. With no sports to watch on TV, eSports have been shooting off the charts. What are eSports, you may ask? Well, basically, it's competitive video gaming. eSports are fun to watch, and my favorite gamer to watch is a guy named Vandalized. Vandalized plays a variety of consoles and games, including the new Call of Duty Modern Warfare and Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. What makes him so unique is that he plays these games with the controller upside down. It is a talent unlike any other. You can check his Twitch stream out, and you can find the link in the Sports Reverends Instagram bio, or you can search him up on Twitch, Vandalized, with 2 Z's or Z's. His control will be upside down. Let's jump to our NHL. Some hockey for you boys. There's some news coming out on the NHL that there's a 24-team playoff format. I'm going to kick it to my guy, Drew, to start us off. What's up?
Well, I'm excited, and a lot of Canadian hockey fans should be excited as well about the new format. It hasn't been – I don't think it's fully approved yet, but they're talking about a 24-team playoff. And it's going to be a play-in of the bottom eight teams in each conference. So right now it's looking Penguins would play the Canadians in the East, and we've got a bunch of series to look forward to. I'm a Leafs fan, so I'm looking forward to them facing someone other than Boston to start a playoff. But if they can get through Columbus, they're going to play Boston again. But I like the format. I like that it's best of 5. I think everyone's going to have a chance. I've heard a lot of players discussing and debating about whether winning the cup this year will be tainted or have an asterisk beside it. But I think the best teams will come to the top. And anytime you have a series, other than when you have like these one game, like you look at March Madness, you get teams that like 15 beating 2s and whatever. But when you have a series, I believe that the best team wins. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited for hockey to be back. And how many Canadian teams did you say were a part of it? Like
6 of 7.
6 of 7. So we're going to have a lot of excited Canadian hockey fans.
Woohoo!
Just not Senators fans.
They haven't been excited for a while.
Yeah.
I think, honestly, I'm not the biggest hockey fan. I'm a very neutral when it comes to hockey. But this is a really cool implementation of how to get excitement back into something that's been off for a long time, and B, placate a lot of teams. There was discussions about, do we look at points per game, do you look at winning percentage, whatever. This way you get a bunch of the bubble teams into the playoffs. You generate excitement. Like Drew said, I think the best of 5 will allow the cream of the crop to come to the top. And this will be really cool. And it does bring back a bit of that March Madness feel to it. And that's really exciting. I think in the first round, we got Pittsburgh-Montreal will be a good series. Toronto-Columbus, like you mentioned. In the West, Edmonton-Chicago.
Yeah.
That's just some old school timers will be very happy about that. And from the Peg City, Winnipeg versus Calgary, I like that one. Because Winnipeg's in the playoffs, and that's always nice for the city. And I like the whole square they do outside, which is always fun. But yeah, I think it's really interesting. We get a lot more teams in, and especially for Canadians, 6 of 7 teams, like, you don't get that too often.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, super exciting. The one thing is, where are they going to play the games? They're talking about 2 hub cities, 1 for each conference, with no fans. But whatever that looks like, I think this is a good idea to bring everybody who is interested in hockey back with some excitement and some good to go. What about you, Dan? What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's still going to be a first-round exit for the Toronto Maple Leafs. And
You don't think they're getting past Columbus?
Man, there's a lot of hot takes coming out of you today.
Well, even if they get past Columbus, they're going to hit the Bruins. And
Yeah, I said that already.
I know. I'm just saying the Leafs. I said the Leafs are going to lose in the first round. Okay, that's my take. And you can be upset about it. It doesn't matter. That's going to happen, Drew.
But can you imagine if the Canadians get by the Penguins? Like, they're a 500 team right now.
That would be...
exactly. I think that'd be just crazy. I love the idea that the teams that are already eliminated from playoff contention, they're not in this. Why waste? Why have them there? I think the NBA should follow suit with that. But we'll get into that in a little bit. But yeah, I think the Jets are going to be in it tough. Calgary, then St. Louis probably next. And then I think they also have Colorado on that side. I think Colorado is going to be the team to.
You know? They're going to reseed them. Reseed the winners and losers.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That'll make things interesting.
Yeah, so I think the Jets are in it in it tough, but yeah,
No,
I love
it's
this.
It's actually no reseeding.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's another major change in this format would be the lack of reseeding.
Yes,
Nice.
Kim.
Wow. I like this. It's gonna bring major excitement. I'm definitely gonna tune in. And that's not just coming from having a lack of sports. It's gonna be exciting. I think all these playoffs are gonna be great. So I'm excited for this. And do you know the estimated start time? Is that July?
Unsure. It hasn't been approved yet, so that's a tough thing.
So yeah, we are going to hear a lot of news this next week about the NHL, which is exciting. So let's stay tuned for that. Drew, you have a final thought?
They're also going to let the top teams have a little exhibition tournament as well, so they're not coming in completely cold.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good idea as well.
You would think that kind of helps the top teams. You know, you're playing against the top teams anyway.
Yeah.
In your little round robin, like that's just iron sharpens iron.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah, and I think that'll help with their injuries, preventing injuries and things like that too. So that's awesome. I'm excited for some hockey back. There'll be some fun stuff, and I will be rooting for the Jets as well. Before we get to our final topic, let's hit one more commercial of our sponsors.
Cimmerian Jane is an Australian-based accessories retailer with all of the latest fashion trends from around the world. Ladies, update your style game with gorgeous earrings, necklaces, and other jewelry for affordable prices. And guys, you can shop for that special lady in your life too. Use discount code SPORTSREV30 for 30% off your entire order. That's SPORTSREV30 for 30% off your entire order. Use discount code at checkout at cimmerianjane.com.
And we're back. Hey, it's time to get into the final little subject of the NBA. And this question has been floating around ESPN and The Score and also TSN. It's who would you start a franchise with? Would it be Zion, Trey, Luka, or Tatum?
Let's hear your thoughts. I want to see your hot take because you've been on fire today.
I've had a lot of hot takes today. This was really tough for me to decide. There's 3 that I definitely would and 1 that I wouldn't. I wouldn't start with Trey Young. No disrespect to him, but these other 3 guys I think are on another level. I'm going with the guy who will sell all the seats, the guy who has a body like no other. His name's Zion. And
A body like you.
Zion, hey, I'm taking that all day. Zion is a game changer. We've only seen a minuscule test of what he's doing, and he's already been able to change the DNA of the Pelicans. I know he's surrounded with some good talent, but Zion is the game-changing kind of player. He's got more to come. He's going to continue to get better. His shot's going to continue to improve. I think even his athleticism and post moves are going to get better. He's going to learn to use his right hand, which he still hasn't got to yet. And Zion's going to be a pretty special player. So I'm going with Zion Williamson. Who's up next?
Just one quick thing. It's weird to me that NBA players are so one-handed dominant coming out of college. Because, I mean, when I was trying out for junior varsity, the way they cut us was if you couldn't make a left-handed layup. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's just mind-boggling to me. Drew, why don't you go next?
And he made a layup with his offhand. Oh.
Yeah, I worked on my left-handed layups so much that I forgot how to do right-handed layups.
Yeah.
Yes, that is very true. I remember that.
You know that, Coach.
Yeah.
I would be coming on a breakaway on the right side and flip over to the left side.
You were just doing that to shield off the defender from blocking you, okay?
Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna go with my guy, Luka Doncic.
Of course.
No, you can say of course, but you all picked Luka Doncic. Let's not lie. But if we just look at this stat line it's out of bounds. His stat line for the year: 28.7 points, 9.3 rebounds, 8.7 assists. Like, he's almost averaging a triple double. And how old is this kid? 20 years old. He's ascending. He's improving his stats on the year before. They brought in Porzingis. They're starting to learn how to play together. I like where he's going. I like where the Mavericks are going. If we want to talk about teams as well, we don't have to, but I
100%.
like the way he plays the game. He doesn't back down from anybody. You can give him the ball in the big spots. There are some questions about his durability. Him and Porzingis both. But yeah, Luka is my guy that if I was starting a franchise, I'd want on my team. Just his ability, his size, his range, his ability to pass the ball. I think I like Zion, but I feel like you need that point guard with Zion. Like, you need a guy with Zion to play with him.
Yeah.
Luka,
100%.
he can play on ball, off ball, whatever. So
And I don't think any team in the West wants to play the Mavericks in the first round.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
That's going to be tough.
There's so much length on that team. Like,
oh yeah.
Especially if Porzingis and Luka are rolling. Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's tough.
Yeah. This time off for Porzingis will be even great. Super beneficial for them.
and they got the number one player in the league, Boban.
And the best 3-point percentage in shooting terms, the best Curry 3-point percentage.
Yeah, he's the best
Seven.
shooter.
Yeah.
He's the best shooter. All right. Well,
All right, coach.
I think we all agreed that we wouldn't want Trae Young.
Right.
And
And I don't want to like knock Trae Young though. He's really good.
yeah, let you talk. Come on, let me finish here. And
Okay.
Trae Young's a good player, okay? And I think some of the things that Trae Young does, like shooting those super deep threes, have value because they create a ton of space. But it's his inability to play defense, and because he's a smaller guard, which is really, really going to hamper him. Look at Dame Lillard, right? Every time it comes playoffs, because he's a small guard, he's getting knocked around. Can't pull through, right? Still shoots those deep balls, creates a lot of space, but you can only go so far playing that way. And while he has done an amazing job, he averages about almost 30 points this last season and almost 9.5 assists. Look at where Atlanta is. I think Atlanta is going to have serious regrets not drafting Doncic. But for me, if I'm picking a player, I'm looking at track record, and I like Jason Tatum a lot. He's long, athletic. He can score. He's an excellent three-point shooter. He's almost hitting 40% for his career at this point. This last season so far, he's hitting 39.8% on just over 7 attempts, which is unreal. And that adds, of course, it plays into today's game. He's increased his scoring every year, and he's played about the same amount of minutes. So you can see that it's really coming through. And I think he's got a potential to hit this above 25 points per game for a long, long time. And he needs to work a little harder on his defense. The tools are there. It's just, I think his troubles in the second year really kind of stamped a bit of a wrong impression of how good a defender he can be. But he brings so much to the table, and just his size, you really think that similar to Luka, that he can do almost all these things. And it'll be interesting to see when the NBA comes back how this turns out. Because, sure, Zion's had a PER of 24, 19 games. Tatum has got through almost 3 years. His PER is 16, and Luka's at an astounding 23.1. So out of these four, I mean, there's a lot of building blocks, but I think Tatum, just because he also has been deepest in the playoffs. Yeah. That's a lot of experience there.
The only thing I would say against Jason Tatum is I feel like when his confidence level gets low, he disappears. And that's a difference that I see in a guy like Luka, a guy like Zion.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah.
They take on that
They're
challenge.
so level, right? Like they're always in it. I find when I'm watching, I don't watch a lot of Celtics games, but when I find that things aren't going Jason Tatum's way, his head starts to sag down, starts to disappear a little bit.
And that was definitely a knock his last year because there was so much turmoil with Kyrie calling everybody out and underperforming and always being hurt and really interrupting the dynamics of the game. I think we're going to see – I think this is a maturity thing, to be honest. So it's –
I think I see Jason Tatum – the difference with Jason Tatum and Luka is that Jason Tatum has the potential to be an elite defender. I don't think Luka will ever get to being an elite defender. He's pretty far off from that already. But Luka's probably going to be better overall offensively, I think. But I think Tatum's got the defensive end, and that could send him up for sure. And like I said, it's hard. Like you said, it's hard.
We also have to remember about Steph Curry though. When we're talking about Trae Young, because if he gets some players around him.
Which he does now.
He's got some.
Because that's what the Warriors. That's what the Warriors have had to do. They sort of hide Curry on defense, right?
It's true. Because Clay's a big dude.
Yeah, they got a bunch of long guys that can play defense, and they sort of hide him. So I think Trae and Luka could benefit from that.
I'll toss one name out here that we didn't talk about. I know we're ad-libbing here, but Siakam. Guy just got big money contract.
Yeah.
Do you think? What do you think? Just top of your head, go.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, I probably have lots of bias towards this, but Siakam's definitely on that rise as well. He's only been playing basketball. He's been playing basketball for less than a decade in his whole life. And he's already an all-star starter and is going to get better and better. His ball handling skills is going to get better. His shooting is going to get better. And defensively, what he's learning from Ibaka and Gasol in terms of positioning and toughness on the rebound has been like I've seen such a growth in his defense, which has been unreal to see. So I see Siakam being right up there when it comes to MVP conversation in the next couple of years.
Yeah. I'd put him in a tier, maybe one tier lower than these guys we're talking about, but I think he's on that way there. Another guy I would put in that category is SGA from OKC.
Oklahoma City.
Yeah, that's true.
Like he's unreal to watch on a day-to-day basis.
I like
100%. Underrated too, eh? Like he's so underappreciated, underrated. I would think he's better than Chris Paul right now, in my opinion. He does.
He's more consistent. For
Yeah.
sure.
All right, guys. That seems to be. I wanted to quickly. I just got an email here from someone who gave us a 5-star rating on our website. Shout out to one of the Sports Reverends faithful. Colin Beauchamp says can't say enough good things about these guys. So shout out to Colin Beauchamp. And thanks for the 5-star rating on the website. If you guys are able to, check out the sportsreverends.com. Check out our website. Give us a good rating if you want to, and see what's all going on of the Sports Reverends. We're on all social media platforms. Our Instagram is blowing up. We've hit 30K. Can you say 30K?
30K.
That's pretty sick. And our YouTube is over 600 subscribers, which is wild.
Wow.
And, it's just taken off, which is awesome. And our Twitter's over 400, which is pretty good. So, guys, let's keep going. We put out the thing about if you want to join us with some ads or sponsorships, hit us up. We'll get you in there. And as we grow, we want to grow with you guys too. So that's what it's all about. So let's say goodbye, everybody. Take it easy. We'll be back on Monday. Peace.